And welcome back to Charlottesville Insights. The first half of the program, we just talked to Jay Kalagher, who is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Stonehaus, one of the area's leading developers. And we're able to get caught up on Belvedere and West Hall. And if you're out today and you want to see some really nice homes and take advantage of today's low interest rates, swing by those two neighborhoods. There are some really cool homes for sale, really great buys. In general, just go to realestate3.com and pull up what's open today. There's some amazing homes, and just really a once in a generational time for people to cash in on low interest rates and really attractive pricing. So we're actually going to sidestep out of real estate for a moment. I have now on the program one of my good friends, Darah Bonham, is with us, and I want to get caught up on this program called Abolish Cancer. Darah, welcome to the show, and can you tell us what's going on with Abolish Cancer?
Sure. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having me on. Interesting enough, a couple years ago when I was in my previous position as a principal here, I started getting more in tune with social media like we all are, and actually leverage that to start Abolish Cancer, which the whole plan for that is to essentially unite, we call as a global community through the use of social media and tools like Twitter to raise not only funds for organizations that are doing such great work in the fight against cancer, but as much in that is the awareness. And so we've, in the last 2 years, really been able to leverage a lot of the power of social media to make a difference, like I said, not only for fundraising, but also for awareness that, is truly making a difference in the fight.
It's amazing when you just talk to anybody and you bring up the word cancer. The reaction is basically everybody has been affected in some way or another, whether it's a relative, a friend, a neighbor. The statistics on cancer are just kind of through the roof. And so what you're doing is just a great thing. And tell us about the April 1st promotion that you have going on.
Sure. So the idea is, we look at something like Twitter, many people have called on and are using it actively, yet oftentimes we look at that and say, what's the whole purpose of it? We've really used that as a springboard for being able to raise awareness. And so our whole premise has been, once again, to raise awareness. And we've been able to connect with a lot of great cancer organizations and great charities, as well as a lot of celebrity supporters who have been able to lend a tweet and be able to send some information out. So what we've done is this will be our second annual campaign that's going to be run on April 1st, and it's called Cancer's No Joke. And what we're doing is we've got a number of comedians, many of them nationally known, from Fran Drescher to Sarah Colonna to Lonnie Love, all on board. And what they're doing is they're using their Twitter presence to help raise awareness, starting here on Monday, with the fact that we have such a need for bone marrow donors in this country. The statistics show that each year in the U.S. alone, we have 10,000 individuals who need a bone marrow donor, yet less than half ever receive those. And so what we're doing is leveraging the power of this platform, as well as with the celebrities, to get it out there to the millions of people that follow them, to raise awareness. And we're partnering with a group in New York that is the actual bone registry organization that allows for people to register right online. So we're hoping not just to make an impact in awareness, but also to make an impact to potentially help save a life.
Let's go back to Twitter for a second, and it's amazing presence that you have on Twitter. Could you just reveal to me how many followers you have now on Twitter?
Sure, just over 53,000.
It's for somebody who's been really topped out at 1,500. That's amazing. And so it seems like you've been able to connect with a lot of cool people. Mm-hmm. Is Lance Armstrong in that rotation, and some of the good folks at Livestrong?
Yeah, we've had some awareness campaigns that we've run. We ran one with Erin Andrews and her sister Kendra Andrews, who actually their father had prostate cancer and is a survivor, and we had some retweets and connections with LeBron James and Lance Armstrong. So it's fascinating to have those individuals be a part of a campaign, or to retweet something you put out, and just the magnitude of where it reaches. And once again, it's about the awareness. There are, I don't know how many people listen to the show know the fact that 10,000 people each year need a bone marrow donation, but just the fact of getting things like that out there on a constant basis through this platform is just it's just instrumental in making people aware and doing the right thing.
So the Twitter handle, again, for those that are listening, we have Darah Bonham with us, and his organization is Abolish Cancer. What is the Twitter handle where people can connect with you and learn more about your organization?
Sure. Actually, the website and the Twitter handle are exactly the same, Abolish Cancer. So it's either abolishcancer.com or @AbolishCancer, or you can follow me at Darah Bonham.
You also on Facebook as well?
Mm-hmm. Yep, we have our own Facebook page.
And so, but it seems like Twitter seems to be the place where people start to retweet and send the information. Is that where kind of the traction has been?
Right, and what businesses are actually starting to connect with us a little bit, because they like to be involved with this for their own charitable donations, but they also like the kind of the ROI on seeing their name retweeted. And so what Twitter ends up being more of is almost like a bulletin board. And so as advertisers look to shuffle money from traditional means to ways in which they can have their name blasted out a lot through the course of a day or a week or whatnot, Twitter becomes that. And really the bulletin board is keeps the message in front of people, and that's one of our main goals.
We're here with Darah Bonham. He's the founder of Abolish Cancer. And Darah, so how does a restaurant tie into that again? Would they end up donating some of their revenue to Abolish Cancer, or how does that connect with your organization? How does a restaurant and Abolish Cancer connect on Twitter? Mm-hmm. How does that work?
Well, there's a couple of ways. One, just on Twitter, is that they could sponsor what we call Twitterthons, which is, I think, it's the new way of doing the typical Jerry Lewis telethon is now we call it a Twitterthon, where essentially for the number of followers you get, you donate a certain amount of dollars that a sponsor will put up. And what that does is it gets retweeted, it gets put out there, it goes over a course of an 18 to 24-hour day, and at the end of the day, the organization donates some of that money, or a lot of the money, to a certain charity, but in return also gets like some good publicity and obviously a good feel in terms of doing good for the community.
Well, you left an amazing job that you were doing a lot of great things for our community. Has this been something that's been building inside of you for a while, or how did the transition happen to just say, what, this is the passion, this is where I want to go? Tell us about that.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I've always grown up, as a child, having the entrepreneurial bug, and certainly carried that through some of my previous jobs I had, as well, being the director here at K-Tech in Charlottesville. But it's just so, the notion of going from education to an organization like this, some of the main core of it is helping people. And whether that's helping a child or helping a family in the education system, or happen to be helping people, through all kinds of resources we can do in the fight against cancer, that's really been the goal. And so now I'm able to use my entrepreneurial spirit a little bit more, since it is my own organization, to really use that ability to help people in a way that's positive, but also has kind of less boundaries in terms of what I can create and what I can do.
It seems to me that the other thing that you're doing here, connecting people, if you, I'll give you a for instance. I have a good friend who wants to remain private, and he found out that a family member is now suffering from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And so all of a sudden you have that discovery, and you're running through all types of emotions when you find that out. But if you can find a way to connect to other people that maybe they've been through that or are now going down the journey, it seems like one of the most useful things you're doing is creating this community where people can kind of tap into the knowledge base that's there. And it seems to me there's a heck of a lot of value in that.
Sure. And out of all those, 53-some thousand followers we have, I get a daily tweet, or someone kind of wants a shout out because their uncle or someone in their family is impacted. And so when I send that out to my followers, inevitably somebody else will connect and say, hey, I'm facing the same thing or the same situation. And all of a sudden you create that synergy or bond amongst a couple individuals or even more. And I kind of liken to the fact that, if you or I went in because we had an ACL or a knee injury of some sort, the doctor would end up giving us some information. We'd go home, we would Google it. Yet the most powerful information probably would come from our neighbor who had the same procedure. And so one of our abilities is to connect people together that are facing some of the same situations.
Darah Bonham, thanks for being on the show. Thank you all for joining us today at Charlottesville Insights, and we will see you next week.